Welcome back to another video on UI design trends. Today we will talk about nostalgic isometric illustrations. Let's dive straight in. Isometric illustration is a drawing style that shows objects or scene in a 3D perspective. It shows parallel lines and equal angles to create depth and dimension. This technique simplifies 3D space and is commonly used in graphics, art, and design to make visually appealing and accurate images. Now, what is nostalgic isometric illustration? Well, it combines the isometric drawing style with elements that evokes a sense of nostalgia and sentimental longing for the past. It aims to create a visual experience that brings back fond memories and emotional connection to previous eras or time period. In 2023, nostalgic isometric illustrations are making a big comeback. Alright, so I have designed this hero section, but I need an illustration to put here and I want to make that illustration in nostalgic isometric style. So there are different ways to create isometric illustration, but I will follow some easy ways to show you to create isometric illustration and how to set up isometric grid inside Figma. But if you are using Adobe Illustrator CC, I would definitely recommend creating an Illustrator, as you can make complicated illustration there easily and then you can just copy and paste it in Figma. But there are also many plugins available in Figma that can create isometric illustration easily. We will also utilize those plugins. Let me show you a few ways to create it. So I will create a frame with a width and height of 1000 pixels. Now we will set up a simple grid here. For that, I will select the line tool and draw a line like this. Now I will create copies of it. But before that, I will turn on snap to pixel. So by dragging and holding Shift and Alt key, I will create another copy with a space of 20 pixels in between. And then press Ctrl D to duplicate the selected object many times. Now I will select all these lines and make it group by pressing Ctrl G and rotate it in about 60 degrees. Then create another copy of this by pressing Ctrl C and Ctrl V, and I will rotate this one in -60 degrees. Now I will make it group, align it in the middle on both sides, and I will increase the size to about 1800 to fit in the frame. Then I will change the color to that light blue. I will rename it as grid. So if you select the pen tool, you can make shapes in 3D perspective. With the help of this grid, you can make isometric illustration easily like this. Let me show you another way to set up a grid for isometric illustrations. I will create another copy of the frame by dragging and holding Shift and Alt keys. I will remove this grid. Now select the polygon tool. Then you can increase the corners of this object by dragging this holder. We need to make it hexagon and the size should be 50 pixels. Then I will add the outline and will remove the fill. Then I will click on the edit option and select the pen tool and will join these anchor points like this. Okay, we need to make the stroke centered. Then we will place it right there. Now we will create a copy of this, but before that I will turn off snap to pixels. By dragging and holding Shift and Alt keys, I will create a copy of this, then press Ctrl D to duplicate it multiple times. Then make it group and zoom it as close as possible. Then create a copy of these group items. Let me change the color to see it clearly on it. Now we will place it right here and make it group together. Then create another copy of this by holding Shift and Alt keys. Then Ctrl D for duplicating this to cover the entire frame. Now we will make it in the same color. I would like to give it the light blue color and we'll rename it as grid. Our grid is ready. We just need to make it lock. Now if you select the pen tool, you can make any shape in 3D perspective with the help of this grid like this. But if we make every shape by using the pen tool like this, it will take too much time. But as you know, Figma always aims to improve our productivity by offering excellent tools and plugins, making it easy for us to create anything we want. Let me show you some plugins that can help us in creating isometric illustrations. Look, if we select a rectangle and draw a rectangle of 400 of width and height, then right click and open a plugin called Fast Isometric. So this can transform our object in these directions. Let me select this one. You can see this is exactly fit to our grid. You can also apply some roundness and can change the color. Now if you want to make it a little more like a 3D object, then we need to create another copy of this and we'll place it right here. If you change the color of this second copy, you can feel it like a 3D object. But if you look at these corners, they are separated from each other, which does not look oblique or tilted. But there is another plugin called Oblique that can help us in that. Now if you click on the project and change the color of this, you will see the result, and that's what I want here. You can change the direction here. I will set it to 90 degrees and here I will set the value to 20 or 25 to fit to my grid. You can see this is now a proper object in 3D perspective. So this is how we can create isometric objects and illustrations. Now I will attempt to add some styles to give it a nostalgic feel. For that I will make it white first and will apply a stroke of 2 pixels. Then you can see this object is in different small parts, but we need to make it union. I will select all the objects and will deselect this rectangle, then make it union. Then I will change the color to white and apply a stroke of 2 pixels. Then I will give it a gradient but linear. I have chosen those 2 colors for the gradient, which looks really nice. Then I will create a copy of this by pressing Ctrl C and Ctrl V and will reduce the size of it to about that much. The roundness should be 15 pixels. And I will fill this by white color. Then I will again create a copy and will reduce the size by about that much. And I will transform the stroke to the dash line. And the roundness should be about that much. I'll make this one light gray. Okay, this is looking good. Now I want to do another thing here to make this side darker to feel like the light is from that side. For that, I will create a rectangle, and by using this plugin, I will change the direction like this and place it right here and make it black. Then create a copy and reduce the size like this. Then another one which will be smaller, and then another one. So I think I have to speed up the video here, as you know every illustration takes a lot of time. We will see just the end result. I will follow the same method to make other elements in this illustration. So our illustration is ready, and I will just place it in our hero section here. And the grid that I have used in the background in the opacity mask is that blue. I want to change the color to that light gray. So we have created a nostalgic isometric illustration today. What do you think about this kind of illustration? Let me know in the comment section. Thanks for watching. I will see you in the next video.